Another migrant caravan being held right across the Texas border under close watch tonight by officials both in Mexico and in the U.S.
They want to prevent those migrants from storming Texas ports of entry or crossing the Rio Grande. Let's go live to border reporter Oscar Margain in Eagle Pass tonight.
And Oscar, what kind of conditions are those migrants enduring tonight just across the border from you?
Yes, well, I can tell you that the 1,800 members of the caravan have food, clothes, and a roof over their head, but they're being held at a warehouse turned shelter in Piedras Negras, Mexico, until immigration authorities there finish processing them, which could happen within the next week or so. But while these migrants want to have their asylum claims made in the U.S. as soon as possible, the reality is that could take several months.
It's a tough pill to swallow for many undocumented migrants seeking to enter the U.S. The 25-year-old Guatemalan man on this phone call is calling it quits and getting deported home. He tells the Guatemalan consul in Del Rio, Texas, that he will no longer try to come back to the U.S. He's about to finish a 3-month prison sentence for crossing the border illegally for a second time. Consul Tecandi Paniagua says it's his responsibility to inform his fellow countrymen about the consequences of not following the rules. And that's precisely what the 1,800 caravan migrants in Piedras Negras are being told to do.
And everyone was okay. Everyone was, pretty much in order, just waiting.
Catholic Charities Director in Laredo, Ben de la Garza, visited the shelter earlier this week. The church is helping authorities in Mexico provide humanitarian aid.
They have food, they have clothing, they have TV, like I said, they have recreational activities. They're being vaccinated.
In addition to assisting migrants with basic needs, Mexican authorities are issuing year-long permits to stay and work in the country. Since the migrants' arrival Monday, 300 visas have been issued and 200 people have decided to stay and work. Guillermo Ramirez complains foreigners are being treated better than citizens of Piedras Negras. All of this aid is part of the strategy to keep people at ease and from choosing the illegal route to the U.S., but it may also be feeding a false sense of hope. The legal way into Eagle Pass is through the ports of entry, and officials can only process about 16 people a day. And even then, there is no guarantee of a successful asylum claim, says Paniagua. Meanwhile, the governor of Coahuila announced shelters are full and he will not allow more migrants into the state.
So as you can see, these walls seem to be closing in on migrants. Therefore, the immigration authorities there are trying to make sure that they are kept in line. And so once they get these permits, they're pretty much free to roam around Mexico. And once that happens, CBP says they suspect that some might try to go to other ports of entry, cross the Rio Grande, or be desperate enough to be asked to be deported back home. Reporting live in Eagle Pass on the Texas-Mexico border, I'm Oscar Margain, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.